Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. I am Roya Zabeen. Those were the headlines, and now on to news in details. The Cabinet has approved the draft of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy to bring the maximum people under the financial accounting system and arrange the financial benefits for them. Both the Bengali and English version of the draft were cleared in the meeting. The approval was given at the Cabinet meeting with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in chair today. The Prime Minister joined it through a video conference from her official Ganobhavan residence, while her Cabinet colleagues attended the meeting from the Cabinet Division at the Secretariat. The Cabinet meeting also approved the ratification proposal of the draft of the Agreement on Cooperation and Mutual Assistance in Customs Matters to be signed between Bangladesh and Turkey. The Cabinet endorsed the draft of National Nuclear and Radiological Emergencies Preparedness and Response Plan in order to ensure safety measures for the Rupur nuclear power plant. After the Cabinet meeting, Cabinet Secretary Khandokar Anwarul Islam briefed the reporters. He said the 5-year financial inclusion strategy is being taken for 2021 to 2025 to improve the life and living of the people, specifically the poor, by bringing them under all sorts of institutional financial services. The government has a plan to bring 10% people under the financial accounting system by 2025, he added. In response to queries of journalists, the Cabinet Secretary said tougher stance would be taken alongside conducting mobile court operations in the capital to make sure the use of face masks in the wake of the fresh surge of the COVID-19. Leader of the House, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has said the BNP itself set buses on fire, but obligating its liability on the government instead. She told this while replying to criticism of a parliament member of BNP at the সংসদ session today. The Prime Minister said failing to earn the confidence of the countrymen and to make the election questionable, the BNP staged the arsoning incidents. The leader of the House said BNP's emergence was through terrorism, corruption and killings.
সালে যেভাবে চক্রান্ত করে ক্ষমতায় আসার পর তারপর থেকে তারা যে সমস্ত ঘটনাগুলি ঘটিয়েছে, বিশেষ করে সেই তাদের সন্ত্রাস, মানুষ খুন করা, নারী নির্যাতন থেকে শুরু করে এমন কোনো অপরাধ নাই 2001 সালে বিএনপি করে নাই। একেবারে সে 1 অক্টোবর থেকে শুরু, হাজার হাজার মেয়েদের উপর পাশবিক অত্যাচার করানো, তারপরে আসলে তাদের অগ্নি সন্ত্রাস, জীবন্ত মানুষগুলিকে পুড়িয়ে পুড়িয়ে হত্যা করেছে। এখন আমাদের পার্লামেন্টের মেম্বার আছে, কোনো অপরাধ ছিল না, সেই অগ্নি সন্ত্রাস করে তারা মানুষ পোড়ালো। এটাই তাদের আন্দোলন, মানে মানুষ খুন করা। আবার ঢাকা 2টা সিটে নির্বাচন, যখন একটা সিট নির্বাচন হচ্ছে পট করে কয়েকটা বাসে আগুন দেওয়া, এবং তারা নিজেরা আগুন দিয়ে আবার দোষ দিচ্ছে যে এটা নাকি সরকারি এজেন্ট। আমরা আগুন দিয়ে আমাদের সরকারকে আমরা বদনামের ভাগিদার করব কেন? আর মানুষের জীবনের নিরাপত্তা দেওয়াটা তো আমাদের দায়িত্ব। এখন অন্তত টেকনোলজির কারণে সব জায়গায় সিসিটিভি আছে, সেখানে তো হাতে হাতে ধরা পড়ে যাচ্ছে অনেক জায়গায় যে কারা কারা সত্যি আগুন দিচ্ছে, এবং একবার পরিষ্কার ছবি আছে আমার কাছে। তাদের একটা মিছিল চলে যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে কয়টা লোক যেয়ে দেশলাই দিয়ে বাসের মধ্যে আগুন দিয়ে দিল, সে ছবি আমার কাছে আছে। নিজেরা আগুন টাগুন দিয়ে এসে পার্লামেন্টে এসে সরকারের উপরে দোষারোপ চাপানো আর উদরপিণ্ডি বুধের ঘাড়ে চাপানো, এটা তাদের অভ্যাস। আসলে ওদের তো গোড়ায় গলদটা হচ্ছে ক্ষমতা এসেছে যে অনমন হত্যা কুষড়যন্ত্রের মধ্য দিয়ে। তার প্রত্যেকটা ঘটনা যদি দেখেন, তার ক্ষমতার দখলটাই হচ্ছে খুনের মধ্য দিয়ে। এবং যে দলটি সৃষ্টি করে গেছে তারা ওই খুন খারাপি অস্ত্রের রাজনীতি এটাই ভালো বোঝে, সন্ত্রাসের রাজনীতি এটাই ভালো বোঝে। সন্ত্রাস, বাংলাবাহী সৃষ্টি করার থেকে শুরু করে জঙ্গিবাদ সৃষ্টি করা, দুর্নীতি করা, অর্থ পাচার করা, নানা ধরনের অপকর্ম এগুলি তারা করে গেছে এবং কোনো কারণ নাই এভাবে বাসে আগুন দিয়ে পোড়ানো। কিন্তু তারা করলো কেন? নির্বাচনটাকে প্রশ্নবিদ্ধ করা। যখন মানুষের ভোট পাচ্ছে না, মানুষের আস্থা বিশ্বাস হারিয়েছে।
Two bills were passed in the Parliament today. The bills were Marine Fisheries Bill 2020 and Fish and Fisheries Products Inspection and Quality Control Bill 2020. Fisheries and Animal Resources Minister S.M. Rizaul Karim moved the bills, which were passed unanimously. Earlier, the sitting of the House resumed in the evening with Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry in the chair. Two Parliamentary Standing Committee reports were placed in the Parliament today. Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Ministry of Home Affairs, Shamsul Haq Tuku, placed a report on Narcotics Control Amendment Bill 2020. Chairperson of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, Meher Afroz, placed a report on Women and Children Repression Prevention Amendment Bill 2020. The sitting of the House will resume in the evening tomorrow. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has said BNP's politics will be vanished if the party do not quit evil politics. He said this while addressing a memorial meeting organized at the Kopirhat in Noakhali this afternoon. The meeting was organized in memory of former convener of Kopirhat Upazila Awami League, late Mofizullah B.Com. Obaidul Qadir addressed the memorial meeting through video conference from his residence in Dhaka. He said BNP introduced fire terrorism in the country. Government will not spare BNP if they tried to damage public property and kill innocent people in future, the minister added.
একটি দল আন্দোলন এবং নির্বাচনে একের পর এক ব্যর্থ হয়ে জনগণের উপর প্রতিশোধ নিতে শুরু করেছে। তারা আবারও আগুন সন্ত্রাসের পথ বেছে নিয়েছে। তারা নির্লজ্জভাবে বলে তারা নাকি আগুন সন্ত্রাসে বিশ্বাসী নয়। দেশের মানুষ জানে 2013-14 সালের আগুন সন্ত্রাসের কথা। বিএনপি অপরাজনীতি থেকে ফিরে না এলে আগুনে লেলিহান শিকার তাদের রাজনীতির অপমৃত্যু ঘটবে বলে দেশের জনগণ মনে করে। শান্তি স্বস্তি নষ্ট করে অস্থিতিশীলতা তৈরি করতে তারা গুজবের, অপপ্রচারের আর আগুন সন্ত্রাসের পথ বেছে নিয়েছে। জনবিরোধী, রাষ্ট্রবিরোধী এই সব কর্মকাণ্ডে অর্থের উৎসের সন্ধান আমরা করছি। যারা এসব অপকর্মে, দেশ বিরোধী কর্মকাণ্ডে অর্থ যোগান দিচ্ছে, আগুন সন্ত্রাসে ফান্ডিং করছে, তাদেরও বিচারের আওতায় আনা হবে। নির্বাচনে অংশ নিয়ে ভোটের দিন এজেন্ট পর্যন্ত দিতে পারে না, অথচ নির্বাচন হয়ে গেলে প্রতিবাদ করে। এসব যখন করে তাদের লজ্জা থাকা উচিত।
Kopirhat Upazila Awami League President Nurul Amin Rumi chaired the memorial meeting, which was also attended by Noakhali District Awami League President Khairul Anam Selim, General Secretary Ikramul Karim Chaudhry MP and Kopirhat Poro Mayor Zahirul Haq Raihan. Former Deputy Speaker and one of the accused in the Agartala conspiracy case, Valiant freedom fighter Colonel retired Shaukat Ali, passed away today. He breathed his last at the Combined Military Hospital CMH in the capital this morning. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. He was 84. The body of former Deputy Speaker Shaukat Ali was taken to the Shohid Minar to facilitate people to pay last respect in the afternoon. A guard of honor was accorded to the late Deputy Speaker. On behalf of President Mohammad Abdul Hamid, his assistant military secretary, and on behalf of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, her assistant military secretary paid respect to Shaukat Ali, placing wreaths at his coffin. On behalf of the Speaker, a wreath was placed on the coffin of the late Deputy Speaker. Deputy Minister for Water Resources AKM Inamul Haq Shamim, on behalf of Awami League, placed wreath and paid respects to former Deputy Speaker Shaukat Ali. Besides, various social and cultural organizations including Chhatra League, Bangabandhu Sanskritik Jot, Mukti Jodha Shanhati Porishad, Dhaka University paid respects to former Deputy Speaker Shaukat Ali by placing wreaths at his coffin. Later, Namaz-e-Janaza of Shaukat Ali was held at the Baitul Mukarram National Mosque after Maghrib prayers. People across life took part in the Janaza. The body of the former Deputy Speaker will be taken to Narya in Shoriatpur district by a helicopter tomorrow morning. He will be buried at his family graveyard following another Namaz-e-Janaza at Narya BL High School premises after Zohor prayers. Meanwhile, President Mohammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina expressed profound shock and sorrow at the death of former Deputy Speaker of the Jatiya Sangshad and one of the accused in the Agartala conspiracy case and veteran freedom fighter, Colonel retired Shaukat Ali. They said the nation will recall Shaukat Ali with due respect for his contribution to the struggle of liberation war, and strengthening the parliamentary democracy. The President and the Prime Minister prayed for eternal peace of the departed soul and conveyed deep sympathy to the bereaved family members. Besides, cabinet members expressed deep shock and sorrow at the death of the former Deputy Speaker, Shaukat Ali. Bangladesh will observe one-day state mourning tomorrow in respect to the memory of Bahrain's Prime Minister Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, who breathed his last on November 11 at the age of 84. The government has decided to observe one-day state mourning tomorrow at the death of Bangladesh's true friend, Bahrain's Prime Minister Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, said an official handout today. Marking the day, national flag will be hoisted half-mast at all government, semi-government and autonomous offices, educational institutions and all government and non-government buildings and at all Bangladesh missions abroad. Special dua will be offered at all mosques across the country, while prayers will also be offered at places of worship for other religions, seeking eternal peace of the departed soul of Sheikh Khalifa, one of the world's longest-serving prime ministers. Bangladesh police have launched a new service to protect women from cybercrime. Introduction of this service will enable women victims to file allegation through Facebook, email and hotline. Inspector General of Police Benazir Ahmed has inaugurated the service at the Razabagh police lines today. The service has been opened under LIC branch of the police headquarters. The IGP said women victims of cyberbullying, hacked ID, sensational information leakage, photo and video release and sexual harassment can file their allegations here securely. High officials of Bangladesh police were present on the occasion. Global polythene use has reached about 1 trillion ton per year, which causes harm not only to humans but also to all animals of the planet, some way or other. But environment-friendly jute bag can be used as an alternative of polythene. (1,146) after another 1,604 recovered during the period. A press release of the Directorate General of Health Services published today said the tally of the infections surged to 4,34,472, with 2,139 new cases being confirmed. Now, international news. COVID-19 global death toll crosses 13,25,000 as more than 6,613 people died yesterday globally. More than 5,50,09,000 infected globally and more than 3,82,62,000 people have recovered so far. The U.S. current epicenter of the pandemic has now 1,13,68,000 confirmed cases and 2,51,901 deaths. Yesterday, the country reported 579 deaths. Boris Johnson is beginning his first working day in self-isolation in Downing Street after meeting an MP who later tested positive for COVID-19. The Prime Minister said he was pinched by his NHS test and trace on Sunday and told to self-isolate but remains well. In a video on Monday, he urged others to follow the rules and self-isolate if contacted by the scheme. On Thursday, Johnson spent about 35 minutes with Tory MP Lee Anderson, who lost his sense of taste the next day. At least 34 civilians were killed in a bus attack in western Ethiopia. Unidentified gunmen carried out the attack on the bus carrying civilians in Ethiopia's western state of Benishangul-Gumuz Saturday evening. The authorities of state said they have eliminated a group of gunmen linked to an attack on a passenger bus. The Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said the death toll from the bus attack could rise. The Commission's head, Daniel Bikele, said the unrelenting pace of attacks on civilians in Benishangul-Gumuz calls for higher vigilance and a more coordinated action between regional and federal security force. President Donald Trump has insisted he is not conceding the U.S. election, despite seemingly acknowledging for the first time that Democrat Joe Biden won. Repeating unsubstantiated claims of election fraud, the Republican president wrote on Twitter he won because the election was rigged. About an hour later, Trump said he was not conceding the 3rd November vote. He has launched a slew of lawsuits in key states, but has not provided any evidence to back his claims of fraud. All the lawsuits have so far been unsuccessful. Now news on sports. Belgium beat England by 2-0 in the UEFA Nations League Football A Group 2 match. Belgian midfielder Yuri Tillemans scored the opener in the minute 10 at King Power Leuven. His compatriot Dries Mertens made it 2-0 for the Belgians in the 24th minute to secure the home victory. Belgium has 12 points in 5 matches to lead Group 2, followed by Denmark with 10 points and England with 7 points. Meanwhile, Italy beat 10-man Poland by 2-0 in the Nations League A Group 1 match at the Mapei Stadium. The home team Italy secured the victory over Poland as midfielder Jorginho scored the opener from penalty in the 27th minute. Winger Domenico Berardi doubled the lead near the end of the match. Italy are on top of the Group 1 with 9 points in 5 matches. Jorginho Wijnaldum scored twice as Netherlands got their campaign back on track with a 3-1 win over Bosnia-Herzegovina in the Nations League A Group 1 match. Memphis Depay added a third for the Dutch, while Smail Prevljak scoring a late consolation for Bosnia. Now to end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Cabinet approves draft of National Financial Inclusion Strategy aiming at bringing 10% people under financial accounting system. BNP blames government for its own crime. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina tells Parliament. President and Prime Minister mourned death of former Deputy Speaker Shaukat Ali. People across life paid him tribute at National Shohid Minar. Bangladesh to observe one-day state mourning tomorrow on Bahrain's Prime Minister Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa's death. If BNP does not return from ill politics, it's politics to face untimely death, says Obaidul Qadir. Police launch new service for women's cybersecurity. Female victims can submit complaints via Facebook, email and hotline. 34 killed in terror attack on passenger bus in Ethiopia. And in UEFA Nations League football, Belgium confirmed semi-final. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for